have arrived on our doorstep. The world's best riders. The world's fastest bikes in a gladiatorial championship with one of the greatest champions of all. Driven by passion, addicted to speed, no fear of pain, determined under pressure, striving for victory. The Australian Motorcycle Grand Prix. World titles on the line, reputations on the rack. Phillip Island takes you to extremes. The campgrounds have been packed, thousands of bikes racked, the circuit lined with expectation as we wait for the action to begin. The forecast, a sunny day again, and a top of 19 degrees, one better than yesterday. We have been blessed with wonderful weather yet again for the Australian Motorcycle Grand Prix. Hello, I'm Bill Woods. Welcome to race day, and we have a lot of racing for you. The 125cc Grand Prix, the 250cc Grand Prix, Moto GP, championships at stake in 2 of those 3 categories. And don't forget, a little later on this afternoon, Neil Crompton will join me as we bring you the final round of the Formula One World Drivers' Championship from China. Very exciting action ahead of us. Strap yourself in. Someone who already has is Greg Rust on the back of a Ducati 2-seater with Randy Mamela today, and the sweat's still pouring off him. Well done, Rusty, as we welcome Daryl Beattie as well, of course.
Thanks, Billy. That was the ride of a lifetime. That was so special, and for only a social rider, it certainly puts it into perspective just how hard it is for these guys and what they have to do. Just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. I didn't have lunch before I went, I should clarify that.
Good idea. Randy, I think, would be an advocate of that. But the big thing, Rusty, of course, I experienced this a couple of years ago at a Yamaha, and we discussed it earlier, the incredible G-forces laterally and particularly under brakes and when they're under acceleration.
The cornering is the thing that really got me, and the braking, as you say, right into the corners. I mean, we did 270 k's an hour down the front chute here at Phillip Island, but Daz, it's got a whole new appreciation for me. Just you know, it felt like right about there you could reach out and just touch the ripple strip. You're so close to it. The lean angle is incredible.
It is, and I guess the most difficult thing for Randy in that situation, I've never ridden that 2-seater, but even on a normal street bike around the circuit, he's in a really awkward position right there because he's used to hanging off it. He's got his knee on the ground for more balance, so it's kind of bizarre for him to be laying it over like that without anything hanging out the side to balance himself as well.
I don't mind telling you, I got plenty of stick from all my Channel 10 colleagues here, but it was just awesome, Billy. Absolutely awesome.
Well, I don't mind telling you, you deserve every bit of the stick too. Let's have a look at the action ahead of us though today, which is quite incredible. We've got firstly Casey Stoner on pole position. You couldn't have any better start to a man who is now suddenly within reach of a world championship in the 250s, and we'll talk about that as we see the drivers parade for MotoGP.
Nicky Hayden, what a tremendous job yesterday in getting pole position, Daz, and that's given him a really good confidence boost coming into this round. He won his home Grand Prix when the series returned to Laguna Seca this year and to America, but he desperately wants a win and to dispel that myth that it was a home turf advantage, doesn't he?
Well, he does, and if you look through the warm-up this morning, he was pretty strong. He and Max pretty much spent the whole warm-up together. They were knocking out good lap times. They were down sort of mid-low 1:30 bracket, which is a pretty hot pace, and they reeled off about 13 or 14 laps. So I think Nicky will be strong, along with Max as well. The biggest talk there, like we mentioned yesterday, was the Hondas are tending to spin up a fair bit on the left-hand side. So endurance, can they go with Rossi for that last 5 or 6 laps?
Our pit lane experts, Lee Diffie and Mick Doohan, we welcome you. And as we see Valentino Rossi on camera, nervous times, I guess, for Chris Vermeulen. He's had the warm-up, but he seems to be building up nicely.
Chris is doing a great job, Bill, and we're all very excited to see how he will go today. But while everyone talks about Rossi, Gibernau, etc., Mick, there could very well be a dark horse in Ducati's Carlos Checo.
No, absolutely. I just spoke with him as well, and you know, the bike's been going good for him here this weekend. He's also after a contract, isn't he? And the Bridgestones are working well. This morning you see him lap after lap was mid-30s, and that's going to be about the race pace. He feels happy with it, and you know, he's looking quite confident.
Just a little note there, Billy. The riders just went out in the drivers' parade in the cars, and above us here are the huge crowd, and there was Rossi here and Checo here, and you know who got the biggest cheer? It was Chris Vermeulen.
That's wonderful to see. And it's always difficult to gauge the crowds at Phillip Island because there's no massive grandstand in the main straight, so they tend to spread themselves all around the circuit, camp in their favourite corners, so to speak. And a great reception there. And when Casey Stoner comes out, of course, there will be for him. Colin Edwards, a wonderful character, has the unenviable position of being Valentino Rossi's teammate this year. They're pretty good mates, but it's been a really stark reality check for Colin after only a few years in Moto GP from being a superbike world champion.
He brings his toy every year, Billy, doesn't he, and fires the T-shirts into the crowd for fans.
Excellent to see that. And there's the man they spoke of, Carlos Checa. He's only had 2 wins in 182 Grand Prix starts. Now, we've had a lot of action here already this weekend on the track. Friday was a bit of an upsetting day, as a matter of fact, because we had a couple of crashes, and that's why Loris Capirossi and Kenny Roberts won't be starting the race today. But here's a look at what happened yesterday.